To today's webinar, 10 tips to secure more listings with the wealthy, hosted by MAPS coach Dan Ihara. Before I kick it over to Dan, I just have 3 quick announcements. Please note this meeting is being recorded. I will share the link in the chat momentarily to the MAPS YouTube channel, where the recording will become available within 24 hours. Currently, everyone is on mute. However, we do value group participation, so we ask that if you have any questions for Dan, please type them in the chat box and address them as best as possible throughout the session. Following the meeting, if you have any questions about today's call or any other coaching programs, please email us at fasttrack, FASTTRACK @kw.com. That's all for me, Dan. Floor is yours.
Hey, thanks so much, Graham. And aloha. Hey, everybody. I saw where everybody's from all over the place. I'm from Peru. I live in Tampa. It's people from Georgia. We are in Honolulu, Hawaii. Yeah, it got really cold last night. It was about 68. No, I'm just sorry, I shouldn't rub that in. Anyways, let's get started. What we're going to talk about is securing listings with the wealthy. Some tips. The goal today is to give you some tips or things that you want to learn to get your next listing in an area, a market that is recession proof. Okay, let's get started. So what is the opportunity? Well, it's a shifting market, right? Right now, you all are experiencing it, probably that the fact that the buyer that's trying to move up isn't moving up as quickly because they don't want to let go of their 3% interest rate to go to a 6 or 7% interest rate. So that market is shrinking quite a bit. Listing inventory is shrinking in many areas, and a lot of folks just really aren't motivated. What we're going to talk about today is the market that is motivated, the buyers and sellers that are. The question is who's really selling in the recession, right? And we're going to talk about this specific target market that we built our business on 17 years ago and now became #1 in KW in Hawaii. So the baby boomers and their parents, they have a lot of money in their assets. Their wealth is in their real estate. Right now, we're going to see the largest transfer of wealth in America. What's happening is baby boomers' parents are passing on. And what happens then? Their properties go down to the baby boomers, and then they have to make a decision on what to do. The challenge is many of them haven't been educated on what their real options are. And we're going to talk about how we help them, right? So what you're going to notice also is that this demographic is going to have some life changes that will require them to move, will encourage them to move and sell their home. And that's going to create an inventory that you want to focus on because that's the largest growing inventory you're going to see over the next couple of years, right? You know, it's a very unique niche, and right now we don't really see it much in any market. And so if you start this and dig deep into it and get really good at it and start dominating it, you're going to be way ahead of your market, your competitors in your market. And that's what we did. We started a long time ago, 17 years ago, building this thing, and now we really don't have much competition. You know, a lot of folks call us. The state of Hawaii calls us. The city and county of Honolulu calls us. They're referring us. They're people that have a problem that they know we can provide their solution. Financial planners, trust attorneys, CPAs are all sending business because they know that we have solutions to the problems that their clients are facing, right? And this is not the younger demographic, it's an older demographic, okay? And what it's gonna allow you to do is secure that listing, and what you're gonna get is when we start talking about their investment properties, we're gonna talk about 1031 exchanges and how that will, when you find the seller that wants to do a 1031 exchange, you now find the most motivated seller and buyer you can find. Most of these folks in this demographic, they're older and they have no debt. They have no mortgage. What does that mean? They're going to sell. You have to buy something at equal or greater value, and they're a cash buyer, right? And they have a time frame by which they have to execute. Absolutely going to help you grow your business once you learn how to attract that business and execute on it in a way that really doesn't exist in your market. You know, we've done over 250 of these 1031 exchanges and never failed. And we're going to talk about ways that you can bring this into your business and really stand out in the crowd. So what does that market look like? Well, it's really 65 years and older. Think about there's 2.1 million older adults over the age of 65 that will leave us this year. 80% of them own real estate. That brings us to 1.68 million potential listings hitting the market in just 12 months, right? I'm wondering how many are in your market. I wonder how many people, if you think about it, how many older adults are in your market and what's going to happen to their properties, right? And what if you were there to help them transfer wealth, right? What if you were there to provide solutions when the time of need shows up? Then you're going to get business. You're going to get the listing. Add on to that over 2.2 million older adults that are going to retire this year. What happens when they retire? Many of them will start considering moving to warmer climates, especially this time of the year. Sorry, hate to bring up weather, but it's real, right? There's some of us around the country. I see a lot of jackets out there, and it's really cold, and it's icy, and it's dangerous, and that's why people come to Hawaii. Anyways, different story. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of folks moving, right? During this time. What if you provided solutions for their needs? And we'll talk about how we do that. So here's the real opportunity. These people have two properties. They have a primary residence that doesn't work for them anymore because they have a health situation or a life situation that changed. And they have investment properties that have become a burden, right? And that's the real market. And it's the same person. So here's a question that you can add into your business right now if you don't currently, and likely you don't. When you meet somebody, a buyer or seller, typically a seller that's thinking of selling, do we ever ask them, what other properties do you own? See, the wealthy, they own properties. And about 30% of them have investment properties. And most of those folks have more than 3. The average is 3. Just imagine that. Once we started asking that one question, it opened a box of opportunity that most didn't understand. Because most people around the country aren't comfortable with a 1031 exchange. You want to master the 1031 exchange because that's the market that needs you, right? That's the solution that'll attract the business that you want, right? Because the investment buyer owner isn't typically emotionally attached to it. A primary residence seller, it has a lot of emotional attachment to it. Sometimes it's a little harder that way, right? So when you have an older adult, what happens is there'll be a phase of life where they can't stay there anymore, right? Or they're thinking of, man, the house is too big, right? And so they want to think of moving. Where do you go? What does life look like? How much does it cost? What if you provided those solutions? And that's what we work and train on. So senior relocations services is really important because if you can, keep in mind, their problem is, where do I go? And how do I get there? And what do I do with all my stuff, right? So you want to bring, that's their problem. If you identify their problem, then you bring solutions to the table. Because at some point, their house isn't going to work for them anymore, right? And once you find them a new house, you get a listing. Think how simple that is. People are going to start calling you for advice because the word goes around that you're helping people. We became the placement company, the boots on the ground, before the internet had things like a place for mom and all these aggregated services that provide a referral source and of which they get paid from the retirement communities, right? So know that all these online services, they will not show you all the opportunities in your market. Why? Because not all the opportunities have signed an agreement with them to pay them. They're a business. They do this. They don't do this for love. They do this for money. And that's how their model works. All of those companies that you see online, they're not going to show everybody, most of them, right? What if you in your local market was the boots on the ground? What if you knew them all? What if you visited them? What if you knew the people there, as we do? People will start sending you business, right? When people start thinking of going into retirement community, they're going to meet with the sales director, and oftentimes there's going to be conversation about the home. What if your brochure was in that office? What if that sales manager said, hey, if you need to sell your house and clear it out, these people can help you. You'll get business, right? Sellers are also going to know that you care because it's more than just a sale of real estate. I tell people the sale of real estate is a byproduct of what we do, right? It's helping people transition life, right? Once you get good about transitioning life in all aspects of it, people are going to talk and they're going to use you because you're going to show up different than the normal agent. You're going to be a real estate planner, right? You'll secure more listings what you're going to do is bulletproof your market, your business. You know, we started in '05. Remember the downturn in 7, 8, and 9? Well, those years our business grew when the rest of the market tanked, right? Why is that? Well, because we had a market that was selling not because of the economy, not because of interest rates, because of a need, right? And we became good at providing a solution to that need. What if that was you, right? And you're going to build referrals from the network of these trusted advisors that the wealthy go to. You think about it. If you have wealth of any nature, you have a number of things. One, you have a CPA. Make sure you pay your taxes because you're making a lot of money. You have to pay taxes. Number two, you're going to have an attorney, a trust attorney, because you have things to protect. You want to have a trust. These people know that, right? And three, they're going to have a financial planner managing their liquid assets. And four is they have real estate. Most of their wealth, believe it or not, many of them their wealth is in their real estate. So the question, who helps them plan that? Nobody, right? Nobody does that. And that's what the real estate planner does. We do that. And through our courses and training, we teach you how you can become that real estate planner, right? You're going to just get more referrals once they know that you have these solutions. You're going to build a larger lead funnel than anybody else in the market. You know, we have leads that come to us, listings today that came to our seminar like 5 or 6 years ago. They said, I'm ready now. Remember me? Oh yeah. No, I don't remember you. So why are they moving? Why are they downsizing and moving? Well, first it starts with a physical challenge typically. If they have a 2-story house, knees and hips, typically the first thing to go, right? Depending, you know, a lot of our clients are athletic, and at some point in your time and age, these things are gonna come around, right? Physical challenges. Then you're gonna have also health and mental challenges, right? Memory loss is the biggest thing that you're gonna see as people age. You know, the world today, technology is so advanced that you can put a hole in a vein in your wrist, a wire that goes all the way up to your heart, and put a balloon in called a stent, pull it back out, and you walk out of the hospital that day. They're going to keep us alive a lot longer. They're going to keep our bodies alive a lot longer. What they're not going to, they have nothing to do, they have no solution for you and your mind, right? That's up to us. We have to keep our mind active, keep it cerebrally stimulated, right? These are the things that we need to do as we get older. These things are going to show up, and that's why they're moving, right? They're also moving because they have to pay for long-term care needs. You know, that's expensive. If you need skilled nursing care, you could be $10,000 to $20,000 a month, right? And they have to sell their home to pay for it. Sometimes it's family dynamics. Sometimes the family left and they want to spend more time with their grandkids, or you know, just something happened in the family and they want to maybe move in with their family, right? We see a lot of that. A lot of times your home is just too big. It's too much work to maintain, right? And so they said, oh, you know, I only use this one room and I've got this 3, 4, 5 bedroom home, and now it doesn't work for me anymore. It's too much to clean. And the proactive older adult, they're going to sell and they're going to buy and rent something smaller. And these are the people that we talk to, that we train, that we speak to in our seminars, because these are the folks that are going to do this on their terms. They know that their kids aren't coming home again. They know that the house is too big. They also know they want to travel more, and they want to have a less responsibility and a less space. Therefore, they're downsizing. And that's the best client, because you're going to get a sell and a buy, right? You're going to sell the large house. Most of them move to a smaller house or a condo, right? Or a townhouse, something more easier for them, for the lifestyle that they're going to next have in their next phase of life, right? Their life is going to change at that point, right? And they're moving into retirement communities. We're advocates of retirement communities. We've been doing seminars in retirement communities for the last 15 years, and we still do them today, right? We can talk about how that works, and moving into retirement communities, because what we know is it's a safe environment. They have food, they've got cleaning, they got security, they have everything they need for one number, right? They can have medicine management, they could have assisted living, they could have memory care, all the things that they're going to, the problems that they're going to have, you want to have these solutions for them. And when you do, people will start coming to your door. Right. And you want to move close, to a lower cost of living. Some of them are saying, it's too expensive in Hawaii. I want to move to other states where it's warmer, or it's warm, and it's a lower cost of living. Right. We see a lot of folks doing that. We're seeing a migration from the coast of the country and Hawaii inland because it's cheaper to live there. Right. It's just cheaper. So your money goes longer. Right. And then they have a greater sense of never running out of money, because honestly, at some point in all of our lives, our question is going to be asking ourselves, do I have enough money to live the rest of my life? Right? And if I need care, what's going to happen? Right? What's going to happen to me? Right? And so once you get your head in the mind of that adult, wealthy older adult, it's easier to understand their challenges. And it's much easier to provide solutions to them. Right? A lot of them are moving to warmer climates because of the snowbirds coming down. And then some just want to move closer to family or care. Sometimes they're moving towards a hospital, a specialty hospital, right? We see that as well. So if your area has that kind of issue or solution of a hospital, you know that people are moving there because of that as well. So what are senior living options? Well, we say it's really simple. You've got 4 major types. You can downsize to a smaller place, a house or a condo typically. 2, you can live with a family or friend. Sometimes people move in with their kids, right? Or with their relatives or grandkids. And then the others is retirement communities. And then you go to a care home. A care home is where it's really not independent living. It's more, you're there because you need care. And so there's different levels of care homes, from large facilities that have hundreds of people to dozens of people to 5, right? And in your market, there's likely a law that allows them to have in their home. We call them adult residential care homes in Hawaii, ARCHs. California, they call them board and cares. Different parts of the country have different names for them, but they basically live in a house of up to 5 people. And the person that takes care of them lives in that house and is got a nurse on staff as well, and provides the dietary requirements and all. So those are the different major 4 options, right? So I can't see the top. So what happens, the biggest problem is their home doesn't work for them any longer. And they're gonna figure out that they need to move somewhere, right? So what you want to do is you want to be that complete solution. You want to help them. Number one, first thing is to find a new home, because no one's going to sell their home until they're comfortable knowing where they're going to go, right? And every time I go to a listing presentation, that's my first question. So where are you going? Because then you care about them, not about selling the house. They're going to start to get the fact that your conversations show them that it's really not about you and selling the house. It's about them and what matters most to them, right? Helping them sort their personal belongings. We created this acronym called SORT, S-O-R-T, sell, offer, retain, and toss. I tell people, the simplest way to think of all your personal belongings, because a lot of times their personal belongings actually trap them in their own home. They have so much stuff, right? I don't know if you know anybody that's a hoarder. Don't look around, but yeah, there's some of us know people that are hoarders, right? And that can be a problem. Most of the time when you get older, it's their ball and chain to their house. And that's why they say, I know I need to move, but I can't because I got my stuff. What am I going to do with my stuff? So once you solve that problem, then they're going to feel confident in selling and you helping them, right? Sell, offer, and retain and toss. I tell people there's only 4 piles of stuff in your home. And you get to choose what they are, but here's what they look like. Anything that you want to retain or keep with you, you start with that. After that, then you got to figure out what do you want to sell that you think you can sell? And next question is, who's going to sell it for you? And then offer it as a donation. Bring in family and friends, bring in friends from church, wherever they are, bring them in and say, hey, these things I'm not going to take with me. So if you'd like them, I'd love to donate them to you. I'd love to bless you with them, right? Things like that. And then there's obviously going to be a toss pile. So what you want, the best solution for this portion of the problem is, you want to write this down, we'll probably put it in the chat, NASM, N-A-S-M-M, the National Association of Senior Move Managers. The National Association of Senior Move Managers. You go there, you put your zip code in there, and it'll tell you all of the companies of that type in your market. And what you would want to do is call them and get to know them, find out what their services are, find out how much they cost, maybe go visit them, maybe visit them at a job site, understand what they do. And when you do, now you have the solution that could be a big partner for you. So 14 years ago, we started our own company. We just closed it down because we have other businesses that we have to work on. But that became a really big solution for us. I don't recommend building one. It's a lot of work. Stick to real estate. But find these guys as a solution, right? They will definitely help you. And then what they're going to do also is help them move and set up their new home. So number 2 and 3, that's the senior move management company, right? Number 4 goes back to you, because one of the things that they're concerned with is, how do I fix this window? Or what do I do with this faucet? This mirror needs to be changed. You know, they're going to tell you this laundry list of things that they feel as though they want to repair. And if you say, well, good luck with that, you're not really helping them. Or if you say, don't worry, we can take care of that. Why don't we bring our vendor in? We make a list we call a scope of work of all the things that we would like done. And then we're going to put a price to the cost of that. And if you agree that you're willing to pay to get this work done, we'll manage that process. What if you had a guy on your team that did that, right? We've been doing this for 17 years that way, right? And we now also become the construction management and consulting arm that helps people do anything they need to in their home, renovation work. So find a good partner, number 1. Find a good partner and a solution that can get things done for you. Ideally, it's one general contractor, but you may have to get an electrician, a plumber, you know, obviously a roofer. But if you can find one general contractor, that solves a lot of your headache, right? That's the big deal, because then they will coordinate everything for you, right? And getting the home ready for sale. Communicating and advocating for them regularly, really important. Make sure you understand how they want to be communicated with, right? You want to know how they like to be addressed by name. You want to know, do they have email? Many of our clients don't have email, right? Some of our clients don't do text. Some of our clients only like text. So it just depends, right? Everyone's going to be a little different. And so making sure that you understand what their needs are in all things, including communication, will tell them that you care what matters most to them, right? And that's where our mindset has to be. We have to put our mindset in what matters most to our client. And if we show up that way, we're going to win, right? Everyone wins in that case, right? And then connect and collaborate with a lot of these trusted advisors that you're going to see. As I said earlier, the sale of the property is really a byproduct of the services we provide. And if you show up that way, if you speak that way, and you have solutions that can help you in that direction, you're going to build a really big business around a big solution and a lot of problems that are out there. So the opportunities are huge with investment properties as well. You know, think about that. 1/3 of all households are rentals on your street and everywhere. And the average landlord owns 3 properties. So that's like 44 million households are rented. That's crazy, right? All these, well, who owns them? That's the question. Who do you think owns them? Well, it's not a 20-year-old, right? Know that what they did, most of population over time, once you start getting a real good job, 30s and 40s, you start investing. Those are the smart guys, right? You start investing. By the time you retire and you have enough money the rest of your life, you're starting to think, and you have no debt, you're starting to think, what am I going to do with this, right? And so my question to our clients when I meet with them is say, what was your goal in amassing this wealth in real estate? And you know what they all tell me? It's for my kids. I did this for my kids. And I say, so what's your plan? And he says, well, I guess I'll just leave it in the trust and they'll figure it out later. How many of you have heard of a family who fought over real estate after mom and dad died? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you're breathing, you probably heard of that, right? Yeah. Why does that happen? Because things are put into trust and nobody knows what's going on and nobody has a really understanding of what the trust is. And then at the end, they have to decide. I said to the older adult, when you leave your home in a trust and you pass away, my first question to you is, are all your kids alike? And quickly they say no. And they say, and I asked them, so are they in the same phase of life? They said, no. Are they in the same economic state? They say, no. I said, well, what you're doing by leaving it in your trust is you're putting them in business after you're gone, after you're dead. You're putting them in business together with the most amount of wealth they've ever seen in their life. And you can't divide real estate. What's going to happen then? Real money shows up on the table. Yeah. Then all this historic concerns or feeling of unfairness is going to show up. And that's why we have fights. Because the judge, the parents, people, the person who created all this, they're gone. So now you deal with siblings that have sibling rivalry. No family has sibling rivalry, right? Yeah. Yeah. What do you think is going to show up? Right? You're going to have problems with that. Okay. We knew I was going to go long. Sorry about this. I'm over time, but I'm going to keep going anyways for those who want to stay on. So there's 5 reasons seasons are burdened with their investment properties. Number one, it's physical deficiencies in the home. They haven't put any money into it, so it's pretty original, or there's a lot of deferred maintenance to it. The second biggest thing is cognitively, it's creating stress in their mind. They're worried. They're at a phase of life that they don't need the money. They have wealth sitting on the side, but they're worried about their kids. Their comment to me is, my kids can't handle this. They don't know how to manage real estate, right? And you know, they're going to fight over the money, and they're going to fight over what to do. And so this cognitive stress is the really most common reason people come to us, is because they're already starting to worry. They're physically okay. The properties might be okay, a little deferred maintenance, but mentally they're worried about their kids, and they don't have a solution because they hear everybody else's kids fighting, and no one's talking about a solution. Nobody's brought a solution to the world. Well, we talk about that through a 1031 exchange and how we allow their families to predetermine their inheritance while they're alive, right, in our classes. So the other thing is family disputes. They want to avoid that, legal issues, and then obviously capital gains taxes. You know, the wealthy don't like to be taken advantage of. And the way the wealthy see being taken advantage of is taxes, because they pay the most amount of taxes, right? We all do, right? So the opportunity really is the investment properties are a burden now, but they don't want to pay capital gains taxes. So they say, I want to sell it, get rid of it, but oh, I don't want to sell it because I don't want to pay capital gains taxes, right? They want to create an inheritance plan, but they don't know how to. In the back of their mind, that's what they'd love to do. How do I make sure that my wealth is transferred so that everyone's happy, right? That's a big question. How does that work? Well, if you only have one property, you've got multiple kids, you're going to have a challenge, right? And creating an inheritance plan. What also, you guys, you get a strong buyer when you do a 1031 exchange, because they're going to be cash. They're going to be motivated by time because there's constraints around that. So is it a good time to do a 1031 exchange? Yes, if you want to upgrade or increase your portfolio. If you want to relocate that asset and the equity in that asset, if you want to exchange to a lower cost environment, lower cost or maintenance of a property, or if you want more cash flow, right? Some of our clients, when I ask our clients, oh, would you like a free asset performance test? All of them say yes, and they don't know what it is. If I asked you, would you like a free asset performance test? It sounds good. Yeah. All that is a cash on cash analysis and a cap rate analysis. But we put it in terms so that people with wealth that aren't educated in this way will be attracted to it, because they want information, but they don't know what they need, right? And so we provide that information to them. Many are exchanging for poor condition properties for an upgraded one. We just talked to someone yesterday that says, this condo is getting really old. I want to get a newer one. We can do that for you. Right? The best 1031 exchange is actually land. Why? Because it's not generating any income. So if you know anybody with land, the question to them is, how much money is your investment making you? And likely they say, no, it doesn't make me anything, and I pay property tax on it, right? Well, what if you sold that and made some money every month? What would that look like, right? Creating a legacy with your family while you're alive, that's a big opportunity for folks. And also, lastly, possibly increasing their depreciation schedule, right? Because some of these guys are selling, they've expired all of their depreciation on their property expense, and they want to reset that. Well, you can do that with a property with high improvement values, right? All of this, we suggest to you that you seek the advice of your CPA. We're not a CPA. Well, I'm not an accountant. I'm not that smart. But we do understand some of the laws that will impact somebody's decision, right? And that's what we want to help with. So here's an example of somebody that says, I want to create a legacy. How does that work? So mom's a widow. She has, in this example, $1 million asset, right? And she's got 4 kids. So she's heard that after she dies, the trust will say to liquidate it. But what the trust doesn't say is when it has to be done by. So what if George says, no, that's a great asset, we ought to keep it. But Lucy says, no, I want my money. And Grant says, you know, I could go either way. What you're going to find is that people have different agendas, right? And that's where the fights comes from. But what if mom said, I don't want to fight after I'm gone. I want to pass this on while I'm alive, but I still don't want capital gains taxes, right? What mom does is she sells the one property and she's by 4. She keeps it in her name. And this is called a 1031 exchange. You buy one and you sell one, but this is a buy one and sell 4 in this example. Why does this work? Well, because George, Lucy, Grant, and Anne are the recipients, eventual recipients of these properties. And now they're helping mom with the selection of the replacement properties because mom doesn't need the money. She's got more money than she can spend, right? And she wants to get it to the kids eventually, but she says, well, what if I could get it to them today? So mom allows George, Lucy, Grant, and Anne to select their inheritance property up to the value equated to their portion. And George, Lucy, Grant, and Anne can add more money to buy a bigger house, or they can split that and buy more than one, or they can put a mortgage on it. What if they wanted it for Lucy's daughter that's going to school? That can be done too. It has to stay in mom's name and mom cannot live there. That's how you qualify for the 1031 exchange. Okay, so that's one of the solutions. And then when mom dies, all these properties go straight down to the kids, tax-free. The kids get a step up in cost basis because it was held in mom's name until her demise. And this is how you create generational wealth, because you're passing on wealth without the taxes, without the taxes. So these strategies are really important in creating a legacy for properties, for people, and being a real estate planner will really set you apart, right? So our coaching class, so if you're interested in this class that we have, it's called Securing Listings with the Wealthy. It's 4 classes. It starts in March, I don't even know the date of it. So it's 23. Yeah. We're going to cover, and so take out your phones if you're interested and click on the QR code, because this is going to just go away soon. Get your phone out and click on that, because you'll have information of the class and you'll be able to sign up for it, for that class. And because you came here, I think is Graham still on? Oh, there's a coupon. It's called Web 15. It gives you 15% off because you came to this this free class. If you didn't come to it, you don't get this. But since you're here, you know that there's a code called Web 15, and it'll give you a 15% discount to the class, right? And we're going to dive deep for 1 hour into understanding the wealthy older adult, what's in their head and how they think, right? And how we need to approach them and how we need to show up for these folks. And then we're going to talk about how do you become a senior relocation specialist? What does that look like? And how do you call yourself that? And what solutions do you provide? Then we're going to dive deep into 1031 exchanges and Delaware statutory trusts, DSTs, and legacy planning. And lastly, we're going to tie it up with really everything you need to know about wills, trusts, and probate. Okay. We have a model around building, attracting business from trust sales and probate sale. You think of that. Remember, there's 2.1 million older adults passing away this year, 1.68 million properties. It's either going to be one of two things. It's going to be a trust sale or a probate sale. That I can tell you. If it's sold, it's going to be a trust sale or a probate sale, likely, right? So we teach you how to attract that and how do you service that. So if you're interested, click on that and sign up. The last one we have, I think the last slide we have. What is KW Real Estate Planner? So Keller Williams Real Estate Planner is for folks that have over $75,000 of GCI and 2 years of license in good standing, right? And that's the minimum. We're only taking 5% of the market center, right? So if your market center is at 5% already of the agent population, then it'll be not available. But as long as there's space, then you can come in. Right? So if you're interested in this, click on that QR code while you got your phone out. At least you'll capture the links that we have, and we'll put the links there in the chat as well. But what is KW Real Estate Planner? It's a community of like-minded folks that are trained and certified to serve the wealthy older adult. And we're trained in a number of areas. Number one is senior relocation services, diving deep into, this is 3 hours of training. And then after each of the training, there's a knowledge check, a test to get certified. Once you pass all those three, then you get the SRS designation from us at KW Real Estate Planner. Right? More importantly, you'll learn how to attract business. You'll learn how to attract the listing. Then we're going to dive deep into 1031 exchanges, which we're in right now. Do we have our last class? We got one more class of the 1031 exchanges. We've had 2 already. And again, all of these classes are recorded. If you can't make it live, then you can watch the recording and then take the master knowledge check, right? The 1031 exchange has been more than 50% of our business today because that's the market that's recession proof, right? They have equity, they have their motivation to do these things. And the best thing is you're changing their lives. You're changing the legacy that they can create, because we help people create a legacy that they never thought they could, right? And that's what's really beautiful about what we're doing here is, and then DST's Delaware Statutory Trusts and Legacy Planning, a huge solution for a 1031 exchange. Again, we've never failed a 1031 exchange. The DST could be your safety net, right? Could be one of them, right? We're going to talk about trust sales. You know, you think about all these folks, about, I think 70% will have a trust, 30% won't. So the 70% that have a trust, they're going to have a successor trustee. The problem with that, though, is they don't know what to do, right? There's no class on that. You know, somebody passes away and then bing, you have this new job that you have no idea. Well, we teach on that. We teach you how you attract that kind of person and support them through the challenges that they're going to have. And then probate sales, how do you attract that as well, right? Because probate, one thing you do know is there's highly likely that that person will sell. Highly likely, right? If they have a mortgage, they have to sell. Okay, so this is all a recession-proof model. And that's why Gary came to me 10 years ago when I met Gary, and he put me on stage for the first time after being with KW for 2 weeks. He said, your model is very unique and very different, and you need to share this with folks. It's taken us a while to build it out, but we're doing that now. We have a couple hundred agent members in our community that are really thriving in this. And then with all of that, it ties it up at the end as a real estate planner, and you get that certification. Nobody can use the words, by the time we get this protected through the Patent and Trade Office of America, people won't be able to use the words real estate planner unless you're in the community, right? And that should be coming soon. We have a private Facebook page where we're sharing referrals, we're sharing questions and knowledge every day, Q&A support. So there's a monthly so along with the training every month, there's 3 weeks of masterminds. One's a tactical mastermind, one's a guest speaker mastermind, right? And then we have another one that's also, I'm sorry, take that back on. There's also role playing on Mondays about the conversation. Bottom line is what we really focus on is the conversation and questions you'll need to know and deliver to attract business for people that have a problem that may not know they have a problem, and you're providing a solution to that, right? And then obviously we've got every tool that we use, every form, every mailer, every spreadsheet, everything, every PowerPoint. If you go to our link tree, actually, if you go to Ihara, why don't you put the Ihara team in there too? In our Ihara team link tree, we'll put that in the chat. It has all my videos of all the presentations I've ever done. Well, I shouldn't say all, most. There's only probably about 12 or 15 of them. I've done more than that. But feel free to use that, right? And build your business around that. Take what you think is good. Now, all these will have social assets that go out, you post in social media to track your business. And we actually do have a free trip to Hawaii. Not that anybody wants to come to Hawaii because it's really nice and warm where you are. But yeah, free trip to Hawaii. But it's only for contest members as well. And I'm way over time. My apologies to everybody. Before I go, are there any questions? Is there a senior relocation? Kelly Nelson's asking, is the senior relocation certification same as SRES? No. So I've taken the SRES class, and it's a great foundational class if you know nothing about an older adult. What we teach is much more advanced than that. It teaches you the conversation that you're going to want to have in the situations that you're going to face in getting a listing, right? This is much more than a generic class. You know, I'm a high D kind of guy, not that you can tell. I like meat in my training. I want to get something that I can take and use. And that's what you're going to get from us, is something that you can actually put in your business today and have a conversation to attract business, right? I signed up, Josh Dawson said I signed up. Any idea how long it takes for them to confirm membership? Oh, good, yes. Yeah, anybody who signs up for KWREB and applies, it takes 3 to 5 days about to verify that KWR will have to verify everything, and then you'll get a portal login, log into the portal, everything is there and accessible, and then you'll see us every week, twice a week. You'll see us. This link isn't finding me through. Okay. Yeah, we'll work with you, Stephanie, on getting you in as well. Kapil, if you can make a note, Stephanie Dickey needs help. Any questions before we go? I know I spent more than 30 minutes. My apologies. I felt that this would be helpful. Was this been helpful? Any ahas or questions? Let's open it up. I can't see everybody, so yeah. Any questions or ahas? No? Not, I'm going to go.
I feel like this is such an untapped area of business for KW agents.
It's untapped for the world, to be honest with you, Josh. Nobody talks about. Have you ever heard of the word real estate planner? No. When you think of real estate planner, you think of a book that you write in, right? That's what people think of. But how come financial planner makes sense? And
it makes total sense. I mean, I think about just sitting around on Christmas Day with my family. I mean, there's probably 3 to 4 conversations related to something you talked about today.
Absolutely. And it's, believe it or not, it's all in your database, right? You don't have to go farther than your database. Yeah. Questions? Anything? Should we first attend a 3-week class before pushing through to KW Real Estate Planner certification? Completely up to you. Depends on the size of your business and how much time you have. You could do both. If you want to just jump right in, I jump into if you're qualified for the real estate planner, I probably do that, right? We built the group coaching class for those who may not qualify for the community, to be honest with you. But if you qualify, you're talking to $199 a month for everything that I just shared. Pretty wild how cheap that is. Yeah. Are you sharing this recording? Yes, it has been recorded. It will be shared with everyone here. I think everything will be shared. Is a 4-week class only for KW agents? No. The 4-week class, the group coaching is open to any agent. KW Real Estate Planner is only available for KW agents. So again, if you're not with KW, try to come to that class. We have family reunion coming up soon, right? February, in a few weeks. I'll be in Anaheim. We'll have 3 breakout sessions. We're going to talk deep into senior relocation, building wealth, transferring wealth with Brett Tanner, and then a panel of how do you approach folks as a real estate planner. Right. And so we can get all those classes out to everyone too, Kapil. Let's make a note. Everyone who came to this, remember that you had a discount code for the group coaching class. It's called Web15. And if you want to sign up for KW Rep, I do that as soon as you can, because the classes are every week. I mean, there's something you're going to learn every week. And we're going to have a mastermind in Family Reunion as well for KW Rep members. And you get free shirts if you're a member. Oh, yeah. And you get a free trip to, well, you can have a chance to win a free trip to Hawaii as well. Okay. I am a part of a estate planning council in my area. That is awesome. I was. Yes, go back. If you're, Trina says she was part of the estate planning council in her area. Should I go back? The answer is yes. 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 You want to build, I'm part of the Hawaii Financial Planners Association. I'm not a financial planner, but I've been part of that community for 15 years. And only recently, over the last 2 years, another older realtor started showing up because he figured me out. But all the financial planners know me. So who do you think they call on if they need a real estate plan? Just saying. Just saying. So yeah. At MedCamp, you mentioned something about teaching classes to local attorneys. Are you still doing that? I'm not teaching. I'm not teaching it to local attorneys. I'm teaching it to the local attorneys' clients, right? So I get invited as the trusted advisor of the trusted advisor, right?
I thought I heard you say something about teaching for CE credit for attorneys, teaching a real estate specific topic.
Sorry, Josh. No, my bad. I did. I'm sorry if you understood that. I didn't mean that. No.
It's okay.
I get invited to the attorney's client bases. So if they trust the attorney and the attorney says, talk to this realtor because he can have a, you know what I mean? We also are talking to the #1 state federal credit union in our market to do seminars for. We did it with the 3rd largest bank in Hawaii for about 4 years at their branch. And they sent out our training classes in every stuffer. And I was in every branch, not me personally. The class was in every branch promoting the class. But they couldn't promote me. They just promoted the content. See, if you show up with education, guys, if you show up with information that people need, they're going to want you to speak and share that information, right? And all of our PowerPoints are available in the portal. And so you can just take what you want and use it, right, in your market. Anyways, I'm way over time. My apologies. We trust this has been helpful. Any last ahas? Anybody want to share as an aha? Anything you learned? No? Okay, well,
I have one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Dan, thank you for teaching this class here. Yeah, I'm potentially working with a person who fits that category and wants to pay cash for another house. So this gave me a lot of ideas. Appreciate it.
Yeah. One of our new members, Corey Boldroff, he texted me and we're working with a client. They actually made me sign an NDA. That's how wealthy this guy is, right? So he's got about 73 properties he wants to liquidate. And we're going to do this in sections. So we're going to have a conversation around how we can help him liquidate large amounts of real estate. So yeah, it's fun. Creating a plan is amazing, and you're going to change lives.
Hey, in that list of properties he's liquidating, any properties in Kailua or Kaneohe?
Oh, it's not here. It's in California.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
California. We have a new listing coming up on the water in Kailua in about 3 weeks. Yeah.
All right. We'll talk off.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Please sign up. We look forward to seeing you. If you're coming to Anaheim, look forward to seeing you in person. I'd love a hug. I'm a hugger. All right. See you guys. Aloha.